Welcome to There Is a Method to the Madness. My name is Rob Maxwell. I'm an exercise physiologist and personal trainer. The purpose of the Method to the Madness is to get to the bottom of what's real in the health and fitness and wellness world and what we need to pay no attention to. Hence the name Method to the Madness. Let's get to the bottom of things, right? All right, so let me thank our sponsors, Jonathan and Lyn Gildon of the Gildon Group at Realty Pros. They currently have over 275-star reviews on Zillow, and they are consummate professionals. Both of them have degrees in business, and Jonathan has a degree in real estate, and I do think that matters because, again, he knew right away what he wanted to do, and then that sets him up to be a professional. He's got a great team over there at Realty Pros. So check them out, and I'll put all of their information in the show notes. All right. So today is Friday, and it's Friday morning. And, I've been doing the podcast a little bit differently this week. I've been doing little shorter messages to get a little more frequency going, but, still finding my way in podcasts. I know that I enjoy them. I like doing them. I think it does get a good message out. And really going into the weekend, I just want to get everybody to exercise this weekend. That is truly my main goal. Like, how do we get more people just exercising, just being physically active? Because I know how important it is. I've lived it. I know exactly how important it is. And I'm currently working on a third book. And this one is just more about working out and strength training in particular. And this morning I was up pretty early and I was writing a little bit this morning because I tend to be a little more focused in the morning. And one of the chapters I'm working on now is just consistency. And, I'm writing about consistency. And, one of the great things about writing, if you've ever, I'm sure every one of you have written, right? But I mean, if, when you are writing anything for school, or maybe you do write professionally or whatever, that when you're writing, it actually reinforces what you already know. And it's amazing, it truly is. It's like journaling and these types of things that once you start to go down a certain route in your writing, all of a sudden things that you weren't thinking about before comes out. And it truly is pretty cool when that happens. So I'm writing these paragraphs on consistency, and then I'm remembering all these important things about consistency and particular stories and different things that I know to be true. And it just reinforces the importance of consistency. And I think that, man, it truly is what matters. Like, there's no other more important variable probably in anything, right, that we're trying to master. And in health and fitness, I mean, there's nothing more important than consistency. So I just want everybody this weekend to go out and do something physical, consistently stick to an exercise program. I was writing about how when I travel, I work out. And, of course, it's going to change how I work out. I mean, when I'm here, I pretty much stick to the routines that I like. I work out at my own personal training gym. I like to ride my bike on the trail down in Edgewater. I'll run. If there's a 5K, I like to do that, mostly just because of the sense of it's a good reason to get out and exercise. So that's kind of my routine here, and then play some sports. But when I travel, I have other options. If I go up to New York, where we go to a lot, I know that area well. And so I'm pretty consistent on what we do up there. It might be running, jogging, hiking the trails, working out outdoors, or I like to visit a gym that I know in New Paltz. But I do that. If I go somewhere else, then I'm going to work out in the hotel gym or find a gym there locally or run the area, walk the area. I mean, even in New York City, where I do like to visit often, I will consistently work out. Unfortunately, I haven't been there in over a year as I'm sitting here speaking. But, I'll go to Central Park and walk, jog, run Central Park, or we'll walk around the city, or, we'll find a place to work out, maybe in the hotel or whatever. But I work out. And I'm amazed that some of my friends, and what's crazy is they're my friends that work out, have said to me, when you go on vacation, don't you like to take a break? Don't you want to go on vacation? I'm thinking, well, I don't have to work out. I want to work out. Like, it's not a chore for me to work out. Now, maybe if I did things that I absolutely hate when I work out, but why would I do that? And, and maybe that's where people go wrong, is they think they have to do things an exact way or do things that they don't like to do. I mean, whoever said that? I mean, who are you listening to if that's what you believe? But it's not a chore for me to go on vacation and work out. I mean, I enjoy it. I mean, visiting other gyms is like fun to me. I don't look at that like as a chore. I mean, I'll often, introduce myself. I'll typically buy one of the gym's t-shirts so I can keep it as a nice, souvenir. I'll talk to the owners a little bit, whatever. And I'll work out and I'll enjoy the variety of the equipment, stuff that I don't have, stuff I haven't used in a long time. Like, it's fun for me to do that. And if I'm in an area that I've never visited before and I want to get out and see it, I mean, there is no better way than getting out to see it by running the streets, walking the streets. I mean, I've rented bikes and ridden them in Central Park before because they have those little daily renters. I mean, that was cool. I mean, I was able to see all of Central Park doing that because, it's a lot bigger than people realize. So, I mean, I guess I could run it, but I mean, I'd get lost. I mean, it's like its own little city. But for some reason, when you rent the bikes and you go around the outskirts of it or whatever, it's a trail. So I was able to go in the back and I'm like, God, there's literally a mini amusement park here in Central Park. There's a zoo in Central Park. I mean, a mini zoo, not the Bronx Zoo, a mini zoo. I mean, there's restaurants, there's, all these cool things. And it's like, I was able to see that because I was exploring on the bicycle, right? So I don't look at it like a chore. I consistently work out. And that's what I want you to do this weekend. And again, what do you want to do? Like, what sounds good to you? Not what do you think you're supposed to do? Maybe you want to go for a nice walk on the beach. I know that there's a 5K up in Ormond that I might do. I mean, I'll decide later. If not, I'm going to ride the bike on the trail or do something because that's what I like to do. Working out changes my mood. It improves my mood. It helps me see things more clearly. I've joked before about how there's those sayings that if you're mad at somebody and you are going to fire off a mean text or an email or something like that, or in the old days, write a letter, they say, well, wait 24 hours and send it the next day. Well, my rule is similar, but it's exercise first. Because after I exercise, I will typically have my mind clear and see things a little bit better, and not from, say, a moody or grouchy perspective. I'll see it from a more clear perspective. So that to me is not a chore. So I want you to get out and do something that you want to do both days. I mean, when people say they need a day off, I'm like, well, I mean, so I don't know. I mean, I write periodization workouts, right? I mean, that's the fancy way of saying that we build in recovery days. And yeah, sometimes we build in off days. So I get it, but why does it seem like work? I know it's working out, but I mean, is going to play, say, pickleball or tennis or golf, I mean, is that really such a chore that you need a day off from? Because it could be that you do. I mean, I get when an athlete is training for something like real rigorously, like say a cross country kid in high school that's on the grind, or, I even more so from what I've seen in high school sports, the swimmers. I mean, their training is pretty darn vigorous and long and tough. And these kids get up at 5 a.m. to go swim before school. Okay, so, obviously, if they don't have a meet on a Saturday, then a Sunday is a nice day to not have to swim. But, that's a pretty vigorous schedule, right? Most of us don't have that kind of a schedule. And even there, I think a lot of the kids don't just want to lay around all day. I mean, I could be wrong, but it doesn't mean that we're doing nothing. So I'm not saying, don't take a day off here or there. I don't want to get misquoted on that. I'm saying that the feeling the need for it might mean that you're kind of looking at exercise maybe a little more as a chore. I mean, is it smart to work out really hard and do things that you don't necessarily enjoy every day? Of course not. But that's not what I'm saying to do. I mean, I train and exercise consistently. And sometimes I'll push myself pretty hard on certain things. But I'd say most days I don't. Most days I do things that I want to do, and I push myself hard enough. And I always try to leave any kind of a workout feeling like I can do more. Like, that's my general rule of thumb. If I leave something feeling like I'm absolutely tapped out, then that sets me up for some overtraining, and it takes away the motivation for next time. And we don't have to do that. Nobody ever says that you have to do that. I mean, the big key is consistency. How do we build into our life something that we want to do almost every day, and we almost look forward to it? I have a client I've trained for many, many years, and she's an avid tennis player. She comes here to work out for strength training, and she likes that too. I mean, she enjoys it. And why? Well, because it's not such a grind. We don't make it a grind. It's like, do different things and push her, enough, just enough, and introduce new things, introduce some challenges. But she loves tennis the most, and that's great. She doesn't look at that like having to go play tennis. She looks at it like, I look forward to when I go play tennis. And if I could play extra tennis, I'm going to play extra tennis. I know people that don't function well if they don't get their morning walk in, right? Okay, that's great. I mean, if you look at the lives of the poets and the lives of many of the old time philosophers, walking was their gig. I forget who said it, but they said an idea that comes not when you're walking is not worth having. I don't remember who it was. It might have been Aristotle, might have been Plato. Do not know. Heard it recently, and I probably just butchered exactly how he said it, but I absolutely got the point. He loved it. It was his way to get out in nature and walk and move, because really we're designed to move. So here's my challenge to you. It's Friday. It's Friday morning. I'm getting ready to launch this podcast, and it'll probably drop at 8:30 or whatever. It's 8:15 right now. So today, do something. Just do something. Everybody that hears this message, I know who I send this to. I know exactly who I send it to, and I know who listens to these on a regular basis. Occasionally, and I wish more, I'm surprised and people I don't know start listening to it, and that's awesome. I'm really happy about that. Our downloads have been great. But I'm going to ask you, did you do it? And then tomorrow, Saturday, do something. Do something. I don't care what you do. Ride your bike. Ride your horses. Yes, that's exercise for you too. Run, jog, lift weights, play tennis, play pickleball, play golf, something, move. Sunday, do the same thing. Just be active, be fit. Don't put a time limit on it. Just do it. Seriously, I know Nike says that, and there is a lot of truth to that. Just really get moving, get out there, and get doing it. And I'm going to check with each and every one of you. So if you don't want to have to type back, no, I didn't do it, then do it. Isn't it simple? All right. Speaking of doing it, why don't you do it and get a chiropractor, because they can absolutely help you in your daily lives. And we recommend chiropractic physician Dr. Doris Antos, who is one of our sponsors. She is in Ormond Beach, and she is currently taking new patients. So I hope you will check her out. I will put her information in the show notes as well. All right, go do it.